Don't go by the moss log. Jill flirted in the soup fog. You turn around in Laurel, you'll never come home. I could high step the rock bowl and drop in the King Cole. That's a mountaineer's hunt, son. Don't go it alone. Hemlock Rock is where I'll stay today. Whiskey's got me feeling frail. If I get cold from sitting, I'll take another swig and head down Cadillac Trail.
Hello, I want to welcome all of you out there in podcast land. Longspurs Beyond the Holler. This is episode 2. We appreciate you tuning in there a week or two ago, listening to episode 1. That was a good interview with James Mills. Yep. We got a treat for you here later in this program. We have Daniel Hanifan from Upshur County, West Virginia, bear hunter, and we can't wait to get to him. Got a little bit of business got to take care of here first. This segment's brought to you by Thorn Broadheads, a good North Carolina company. Thorn Broadheads, they provide our broadheads, their official broadhead of Longspur. You need to check them out. They got a couple of good products. I'm holding them here in my hand. I wish you could see them out there in podcast land. Got a nice expandable broadhead, 2-inch cut. It's the XV. Thorn XV. You need to look that thing up. That's an impressive looking broadhead. And then we have the Crown. The Crown is a fixed blade broadhead. It's what I explain to people when I think of a fixed blade broadhead. A big wound channel that's not going to seal up. A broadhead like that put track and dog out of business.
I think you can get replacement blades for these
too. Oh, yes. All of them. Yeah, even.
Yeah, those ones come with it, actually.
Yes, so, they do.
That's nice.
Yep. Thorn Broadheads, North Carolina company. Also, Dan's Outdoor Gear, Sugar Creek, Ohio. Dan's Outdoor Gear. They have everything you need for dogs. Tracking systems, leashes, and
camo.
Anything you need for hunting. Boots, coats, pants, chaps. I mean, they just make some of the finest brush gear out there. So you need to check out Dan's Outdoor Gear and Thorn Broadheads on Facebook or the internet. Look for them on our pages. You can just click on the links and get right to them.
Yeah.
So we're into spring here.
Yeah, we're going to talk about some morels and turkeys and.
It is morel time. And one of the things a lot of people don't know, if you go to our Facebook page, Longspur Tracking and Outfitting, we actually do the School of the Morel here.
Your daughter is really good at it, too.
Yeah, JC became world famous in 2020. I believe she found the largest morel in the United States.
I think it was bigger than her head.
And she found that within about 2 miles here at Longspur headquarters.
I would have tripped over it, Sean.
Can you believe where it was? It just took a miracle to find it where it was at.
Yeah.
But went back there. That was 2 years ago. Went back there last year. There were several under that same. It was a dying elm tree.
Yep.
But within 100 yards of that, we found a patch of over 200.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Sounds like heaven right there.
Yeah. We really get into them here. This weather's starting to pop. And hopefully here in the next week, we'll get the soil temperatures. We get technical about this. I carry a thermometer with me. We look for 56 to 60 degree soil temperature to get those morels to pop. Yep. A lot of people don't know there's a few different species of morels. We have black morels here in West Virginia. You have the big yellows. You have the poplar morels, the snakeheads. Mm-hmm. So there's about 4 or 5 different ones. There's
a poisonous one too, I believe, isn't it?
Well, you have a false morel.
Yeah.
I've only ever found one of those.
Angel of Death or something, what it's called, or something like that.
Yeah, that's a white mushroom. Good thing out there is actually with the morels, there are very few that, basically none in West Virginia that mimic any of them. Now you have verpas, which look like a snakehead, but they have a smooth cap and they don't have the wrinkled cap like a morel.
Yeah.
So you're pretty safe. I mean, if you ever have a question,
They'll just get a hold of any of us.
throw it away.
Yeah.
That's what I tell people.
Yeah.
You throw the one away if you have a question.
You'll find more.
Exactly. Some of the slopes you need to look on in West Virginia, south facing. That's the ones that warm up the quickest this time of year. A nice southeast facing slope will hold some mushrooms. Associated trees you need to look for. Let's give you those. I just mentioned a dying elm.
Yeah. They love it with the bark falling off.
Yes, there's your jackpot tree.
Yep.
Around here, last year, the sycamore groves with some dying white ash in them was the hot ticket.
And I've had a lot with apple trees, apple orchards, and
apple orchards are a great place. Old apple trees that are out in the woods grown,
crab
dying.
apples.
Good place to look. Chrissy found a good flush of them under a dying hickory tree last year.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. But, we get into them here. We usually find 1,000 plus.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking 1,000 plus little ones. I'm talking the big ones.
Real nice ones, yeah.
Real
the
nice
ones you dream of.
Yeah, the fist size ones.
How do you prepare yours at the dinner table?
Oh,
That's obviously why we hunt them.
I'm going to sound like Bubba off Forrest Gump here going after the shrimp,
Yeah.
There's all kinds of ways to make morels. I'm a good old mountain boy, so I like the old roll them in flour, salt and pepper, and cook them in butter.
Ain't nothing better.
I like them that way.
Yep.
I tell you, we've fallen in love with the ramp and morel pizzas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we make them put a lot of, just white cheese pizza with ramp and morels on it.
And if you get too many of them, you can freeze them, too. You can put them in the freezer.
The best way I've found to keep them is to sun dry them.
Yeah.
Like on a screen.
Yeah.
And then freeze them.
Yeah.
They rehydrate easy.
Oh,
you can put them in a
dehydrator,
but that little bit of heat a dehydrator cooks them, makes them a little
chewy.
leathery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Making me hungry thinking about it.
Yeah. Now we did some crab stuffed ones.
Oh, wow.
So
that sounds interesting.
Yeah. We did some crab stuffed morels. Took cream cheese, stuffed them with cream cheese and crab, egg washed them, rolled them in Ritz crackers, wasn't it? Crushed up Ritz crackers, put them in the deep fryer.
That sounds good.
Those were a big hit. I think JC ate all those, including the hot ones. We put some jalapenos in.
Trying to deter her from them. Yeah. And she still ate them.
Yes. But JC cleans them up. But if you want to see some of those pictures, I tell you, go to our Longspur page. We'll be posting some throughout the year. Yeah. If you ever want to go on a mushroom walk with us, we offer those. Yeah. We're probably one of the only outfitters around that does that.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody out there that
mushroom hunt.
Yeah.
In fact, we have some boys that come in and turkey hunt in the morning and morel hunt in the afternoon.
Absolutely.
So
ain't nothing better.
Yeah, and the ramps in this area are just popping. Those of you that don't know what a ramp is.
Oh my.
This is a wild leek.
Yeah. Which
is in West Virginia, it's the first green of the spring that pops up on the mountains, and back in the day, it was looked at as a spring tonic, as a healing plant to eat. And you think about the first settlers in this area, 1770s to 1790.
That was their garlic.
That was their garlic, and that was their first, like I said, the first green. They just went through a whole winter of eating probably nothing but jerky and cornbread.
Yeah.
Corn pone.
Yeah.
So when that green came up, that was...
I tell you, though, if you eat a lot of them and it's nice and warm out, you're going to regret it.
Yes.
Boy, you sweat them out.
Yes, you do. But they're just starting to pop. I mean, West Virginia is a great place to do some wild gathering on some of those plants. And then
when you go to pick them, don't pick the whole patch. Just pick, you know.
Yeah, just dig selectively.
Yeah.
One of the big things you're seeing on a lot of the Facebook pages and websites now is to do topping, where you just take scissors and top them.
Just kind of like lettuce would be.
Yeah, exactly. You wait till they're a little more green instead of digging the bulb. I mean, we like digging them.
Yeah.
You just got to be smart about it.
Preparing them, they're good in salads, sandwiches.
Yes.
Pickle them.
Well, I actually had a couple bologna sandwiches for lunch today with ramps on them. So
that's pretty good stuff.
And
it will stay with you the rest of the day.
Yes, they will. And JC, our daughter, when we're walking through the woods and she sees ramps, she says, "Can I pick one of those? Can I eat one of those?" Oh, yeah, go right ahead. Go right ahead. So, it is the time of the year.
Yeah.
It's the time of the year. I've got we got to mention a couple other sponsors here for this episode. We have Base Camp Coffee in Cumberland, Maryland. Base Camp Coffee. I mean, great people over there. If you're ever in the Cumberland area, stop in and see them. Cumberland's really becoming a growing little town over there. Beautiful. Almost everything's brick,
And
it seems like.
They have more than just coffee, too. They have pastries and everything
Yes,
else.
they do. You can stop right in there and get you a good snack and a good cup of coffee. And then over in Job, West Virginia, we've got Still Holler Spirits. Tyler Waldo over there. Go over there and see him. It's, good whiskey.
Corn whiskey, yeah.
Corn whiskey. He does do some ryes. Some interesting drinks coming out of there. I'm sitting here staring at a bottle of the Still Hollow Cranberry Spirits. It's a cane and grain whiskey with cranberry.
And you can check out those out on Instagram and Facebook as well.
And like I said, go to our page. We'll be sharing their stuff. You can click directly on the links, and that'll take you to them. And we're going to be doing some giveaways with Base Camp Coffee and Still Hollow Spirits. So, keep watching our pages and take advantage of that. Now, another thing that's coming up here soon is turkey season.
Oh, yeah.
Spring gobbler season. And maybe by the time you all are listening to this, we'll be in the middle of it.
Yeah, probably. Hopefully you'll have one under your bag, too.
Right. Everybody always is asking me, what's your outlook? What's the outlook for the spring season? You get these guys that tell you, I've been hearing them gobble since February. They're done. Yeah. What they don't understand is these turkeys will gobble all year round.
Yep. Yeah.
And you just got to get out there and hunt them.
That's it.
And if you cover enough ground, you'll find one a day that's huntable.
Yeah.
But you got to cover the ground.
Yep.
Now, a lot of people getting into bow hunting turkeys.
Oh, yeah. That's what we got a guy at Lawson McKee's actually trying to do one this year.
Right. I would love, and that's something we're trying to lobby for, is to make it legal to track turkeys in spring.
That would be amazing.
A lot of guys bow hunting them, and bow doesn't always knock them down.
No, it does not.
So, but if you put a good shot on them, they'll at least run off.
Mm-hmm.
That's a trackable animal.
Yeah, they have the in their chest area. I mean, it's a pretty protected area. They protect their insides and their heart and everything. Right. So they're a very tough bird to kill.
Right. Now, a lot of people don't know this, and this is coming from a biologist, but on birds, if you can break those legs, you're going to kill that bird, because that's where their blood is constantly
running through,
cycling, being made through the bone marrow on those legs. If you've ever had a turkey bone or a chicken leg, you can break it and look at it.
Yep.
You get that broke, that turkey will bleed out quick, but he can still cover some ground.
Oh, yeah. He can still cover some ground. They're tough birds, man.
Yes, sir. But turkey season, we love hunting hard and getting after it. I think it's going to be a decent season. You should hear some good gobbling that first week and probably the end of the third and into the fourth week. And my favorite is the fifth week of the season now, which in West Virginia, they moved our season up a week. And
that's the tough part of the season, though.
Yeah, when they're henned up.
Yeah.
If they're henned up.
You got to have patience, man.
Sometimes, you just got to sit and outwait them when they're henned up.
Yep.
We're going to be taking out a youth hunter. We got a neighbor here. His name's Major. We've taken him the last couple of years. He was actually with JC when she found that big mushroom.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But Major, he's matured a little bit now. He learned his lesson last year. He went to carry a big old 12 gauge last year. And, man, I put a turkey a big gobbler right in front of him.
That's awesome.
If you've turkey hunted any amount of time, you know that each turkey has that day where you can call him in.
Yeah.
Well, this turkey heard us walking in the leaves and got excited.
Yep.
And started gobbling.
He started going.
And as soon as we could get set up, he was already walking in front of us.
That's awesome.
But he was afraid to shoot that gun with his granddad's gun because he was afraid it was going to kick him.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Good old 12 gauge.
Yeah, I think this year, I got him lined out, and he's going to shoot JC's 410 with the Apex TSS
those
shot.
Are good guns with them.
JC's killed 3 gobblers with hers.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to try something a little different this year. I have a 12 gauge double barrel greener.
Oh, there
London,
you go.
So I'm going to try something different this year too. It's a heritage shotgun.
You got to use a black powder shell in
yes,
there.
Sir.
There you go.
Black powder and the wad and the whole deal.
That's a different.
Yeah, not very many people get to do that. I want to try it this year. We'll see.
I was just going to mention, if you're looking for Apex ammo, you reach out to our friend Joey Hipp at American Flyway Waterfowl. I mean, you'll see his posts on our pages every once in a while. Just click on there and go to his page and look up his Apex ammo.
He has some awesome shirts too.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. But I'm telling you, just get out there and do it. It doesn't take a lot to call in a turkey.
It doesn't take a lot of money or skill. Well, I mean, more skill, but it doesn't take a lot of money.
I tell people woodsmanship, and I've done turkey seminars over the years. I've guided and outfitted them. People ask me, what's the number one key to killing turkeys in West Virginia? And I say, use the terrain to your advantage.
Yep.
If you set up where you can see a long ways,
yeah.
you're not going to kill that turkey.
No.
Because he's going to come out to where he can see a long ways.
They're a dumb animal, but very smart.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I use ridges. I like to set up, 10 yards from the crest of a ridge, get a bird coming up. He
Oak
pops
flats.
up into the sight.
Yep. Yeah.
And it's not a TV turkey.
No, it's not always in the green field.
No. And he's not going to always be strutting right up to a decoy. No, they pop up. They walk up into full view. You make sure they got the beard.
Yep.
Make sure they're a gobbler. And confirm your target, and you pull the trigger.
It's still an exciting time.
Oh,
though.
yeah.
It is.
Yeah. And we all turkey hunt here. I mean,
It's a passion.
Yeah.
And it tastes good,
love
too.
it. Yeah. Fixed track. You hear a lot of people saying, I've heard about wild turkey. They're no good. No.
And their breasts.
Yeah, you can make some deep fried turkey nuggets out of those breasts.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. But, we're getting ready to go into a break here and then go into segment 2.
We're going to talk with Daniel a little bit.
Daniel a little bit. Just remember to reach out on our pages there and look up our fine sponsors, Thorn Broadheads and Dan's Outdoor Gear, Base Camp Coffee, Still Holler Spirits. Mm-hmm. You got Peanut Addiction, and don't forget Dream Mountain Ranch. I mean, look those guys up. And we just mentioned American Flyway Waterfowl. We appreciate all those guys. Yeah. We're going to take a break here. Yep. And then when we come back, we're going to be talking with Daniel Hanifan from Upshur County here about a track we went on with him and talk some bear hunting and some hunting and see where the conversation goes.
Absolutely.
Okay, sounds good. Stay tuned here. We'll be right back. Hey, I want to welcome everybody back to Longspur's Beyond the Holler.
Beyond the Holler.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, this segment's brought to you by Base Camp Coffee and Still Holler Spirits. Base Camp Coffee out of Cumberland, Maryland. Great product, great people. And Still Holler Spirits over in Job, West Virginia. Good friend Tyler Waldo over there and his crew. And make some fine whiskeys over there.
Foreign whiskey, yes, sir.
Okay. This segment, we're with Daniel Hanifan from Upshur County native here. Yes, we ran a track with Daniel this year, and Daniel's a dog guy, and we invited him on to do some talking. How are you doing today, Daniel?
All right. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I guess, first of all, let's just kind of talk about your track.
Yeah.
And then we'll get into other topics here. But you were hunting here in Upshur County and shot a nice little buck there.
Yeah.
Tell us about, the hit.
Well, when I shot it, I thought it was far and back a little bit. I thought it was liver. I give him about 30 minutes or so and went out and started tracking. And he probably only went 30, 40 yards and had bedded up, and I'd bumped him up after that. So that's when I decided I would give you a holler and see if you could come track him down. So
how did you meet Shon? You were his neighbor?
Yeah, Shon actually used to live just about a mile from us, and then he knew my grandfather. Yeah. And I just kind of got to know him through that.
Right.
Seen he'd done the dog tracking.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I used to do a bunch of timber work with Denver be your great uncle?
Yeah, Denver's my great uncle.
Yeah, I used to do a bunch of timber work with him and knew your granddad well. Yeah, knew the family. So, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I know this area. I know where we're going.
Yeah.
So
you do some bear hunting too. You were saying with us.
Yep.
What do you how many dogs you run with bears?
I myself have 6 or 7, but when you put all of us together, you might as well say there's 30 or 40 head of dogs at one time.
Man.
Yeah. How many years you bear hunted now?
11. 12 this year.
Wow. 12 this year?
Yep.
So it wasn't something you got into young age?
No, I actually used to just I coon hunted a bunch and
Coon hunted a bunch.
just decided one day I wanted to try bear hunting out and
Kind of liked it.
yep, liked it, and that's what
It
I
does
wanted
get
to
in your
do.
blood, doesn't
Yep,
it?
yep.
Yeah.
It's addicting.
Yeah. I used to hunt a lot with Theron Small Ridge, and I hunt
Oh,
now
yeah.
Kevin Williams.
Yep.
And that crew, and so, and then next year we're going to give it a try a little bit with our misfit gang here and see how they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got. I mean, now do you train your own dogs?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. How do you start them?
Well, I've been lucky enough. I've had older dogs that I just take them and I put them with the older dogs and
They just
let
learn
them
from that?
let them learn
Let
from
'em
the
go.
older dogs. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
That's awesome.
Now, do you hunt a lot during training this season?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll wait till after turkey season goes out, and then from after then on through summer. I mean, I try to get out 1 or 2 days a week and train.
Okay. Now, you train in Upshur or
No, Webster County for
Webster
the most.
County.
Or Webster and Randolph County.
Okay.
Wow.
And what breed of dogs you running?
I've mainly plots and blue ticks. I've got a couple other mixed up dogs, but mainly just plots and blue ticks.
How do you like your plots?
I like my plots. I really do.
Yeah, they're pretty good dogs.
Yeah, they're good dogs. There's good and bad in all of them.
right.
You can pick them apart anyway. I mean, they all have their strong points and all have their weaknesses. So.
We haven't had a full-blooded plot through our school here yet.
Yeah.
But we have a mixed breed out here right now, and he's part lab, and they told him blue tick, but man, he has the curled tail and the plot look going on. I think he's part plot, and a really good tracker. Really.
You never know. I mean, it could be 4 or 5 generations back and it come out in them, and you.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. But the plot hound's an interesting hound. That's definitely an American dog right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, they was originally bred for big game. I mean, hunting's what they was originally bred
Right.
for. So
when you start reading about those Plot brothers, and they came over from Germany in the 1700s and brought their dogs with them, which leads back to a bunch of those German versatile hounds and things that they figure are in the Plot dogs. And it's just an interesting story and how they've been showed how they are today from where they came from.
And you could use those dogs for more than just bear tracking.
oh yeah,
correct?
I mean, coon, mountain lion. I know people that's even used them for squirrel dogs.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah. And a lot of boys down south use them on hogs.
Yeah, hogs.
Yeah. They're a versatile dog, just like the Jags.
Yep.
You were talking about it earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Jags are. Those are wicked little dogs you got right there.
That's what we were saying, that they use those for bear hunting too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
such
They
a
have
small dog.
They seem like they have no fear to them.
They have a zero fear, and they learn, and it starts at an early age. They're born with it. So, I mean, and it shows up early.
Yep.
And you also run some blue ticks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I started out with originally. I was always blue ticks, but I I run both now.
Right.
How many do you have now?
Between bear dogs and rabbit beagles, I think 13.
13.
Wow.
Right. We have 3 blue tick trackers in our gang.
Yeah.
And 2 of them been through the school here, and the other one John Hockaday owns.
Okay.
Annie, real good tracking dog.
We're going to have him on here.
Oh
soon,
yeah,
too.
he'll be co-hosting here soon.
Right.
But I mean, what do you think of the bear population in the area right now? I mean, have you seen big change over the last few years, or?
Yeah, just in places. I mean, here in Upshur County, I think they're still thriving just fine as could be.
Right.
And some other places, you get over around Randolph, Pocahontas. Last December, there was a bunch of people that just wasn't finding no bears over there then.
Right. And we had
They
you never know. Hey, it's in Longspur.
There's a pup trying to eat the feet off of me right here.
This is Longspur headquarters. You never know what kind of little dog's going to come running around.
How far do those bears travel? They travel a good ways, what I understand.
Oh, listen, there was a couple boys killed one a few years ago in Upshur County. That bear was tagged in Virginia. Virginia Tech tagged that bear, and it had traveled 120 or 140 air miles from where they'd tagged it at to where they'd killed it out here in Upshur County.
That's amazing.
They'll go to wherever, I mean, they're looking for food.
Big animal, and you know, you think of them slow, but they're actually fast.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're a very fast animal. They're not clumsy by no means.
No.
Yeah, they can they can be on top of you in a hurry.
Yeah. Yeah, you ain't going to outrun one.
No. I've had some interesting encounters while bear hunting. Yeah, the minute you think a bear's out of it or he's slow, that's when he surprises you.
That's when he gets you. Yep.
That's right. I got my legs swiped out from under me on one. It landed me right in a pack of dogs, and they started chewing on me. Yeah. So, I mean, it happens, but they're fast animals.
Oh, that's hunting though.
Yeah. So, you bear hunted for 10 or 11 years. You've been around dogs. So you called us on this track.
Yep.
You liver shot this deer, and we all do it. We may
It happens.
It happens.
You followed it, and you followed it too quick.
I went too quick. Yeah.
Too quick.
Yep.
And that's something we preach to all the hunters. Even if you don't see it fall down, give it a little more time.
So when you reached out to Shon, did he physically come and help you, or did he talk to you over the phone?
He talked to me. I mean, a little bit and said, "We'll give it tonight, and we'll come out in the morning, and we'll see what we can find." So
that's kind of like what you and I were saying a little while ago, that you guys, we try to talk about the whole situation, what happened with the deer and everything out. Try to talk them through the whole thing without having to go out there and physically do it. So I mean, you guys are looking out for hunters.
Yeah. If we don't have to take the dogs out and charge somebody, we try not to do it. But if it's a situation we think it's going to be tough, and after talking with Daniel and doing the interview, it's like, man, okay, he bumped it. We might get out there and find more blood right away. But with a liver hit, sometimes you don't. I mean, the liver sits in a fatty area in the body, and they lay down, they clean themselves up, they can seal off, and sometimes it's a couple 100 yards before they'll bleed again.
Yeah, well, it's just like mine. I mean, it was just in spurts whenever we found it after that, wasn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and you had thought it went one direction.
Yeah, I swore it went one direction. I'd heard a deer down there, and I sure as it. But
normally
it wasn't.
Instincts like, well, he's done.
Yeah.
So we were running two dogs that day. We had Jessie, and Chrissy was running her as lead dog.
Okay.
And I told Chrissy, I said, you let Jessie just take the track and go.
Right.
And I had a young blue Lacey that we had here at school named Piper, Blue Lacey Kerr. That's the dogs that Ron Miller runs. And, and this actually was a pup out of his jack dog. And I told her, I said, I'll go in the direction Daniel heard the deer go, and I'll just wind scent her and see what we pick up. Well, we weren't picking anything up. And Chrissy was gone.
Yeah. She went off and left-handed and jumped a flock of turkeys.
Yeah, she got into the turkeys, and we were talking about that
a little bit ago.
Got frustrated with me.
Got in the old jagger bushes.
Yeah. So she came back up, and she handed me the keys to Jessie. She said, you take her. Let me have that pup.
Yeah, right.
So I said, well, let's take her back to that bed and just start again.
Right.
Well, she did it again, right back the other direction.
Right off the end of the point pretty well right there.
Yeah, and I got down. I was away from you guys, and I'm like, and I heard Chrissy yell, is she going back to those turkeys? And because that's the direction she went.
Right.
Well, we went down there, and I'm like, look down, and I see blood. I
Wow.
got blood drop.
Yeah.
So called them down, and we dropped on down into a gravel haul road.
Yeah.
And then the story gets good here.
Well, we lost the blood again at the haul road.
We lost the blood.
Yeah.
And so Jessie started pulling us out the road, and I'm like, okay, maybe it went this way. Well, she had heard or picked up on two boys that were walking.
Oh, man. She's getting sidetracked.
School skippers. We weren't that far from the high school. On Buchanan Upshur High School. Okay. And this area is known for where the school skippers go to.
I've been there, done that.
Yep.
Everybody
we all
has.
Yeah. So these two boys just turned around and took off. Well, I wanted to kind of have fun with them and yell at them and say, stop, or I'm sending in the dog or something. These two boys.
They're probably going to be listening to this podcast down the road.
Sometime. Somebody that knows them will.
They'll be like, that's who them people were.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can't let Jessie go on. When she starts going, I'll let her go. I mean, you got to trust the dog. Well, she just took us up to those boys, and they're hiding behind a bush.
Yeah.
Not even hiding.
Not even hiding.
They turned their faces into the brush and stood there along the road.
Put their hoods up.
Yeah.
And I said,
that'll fix
guys, I don't care who you are, and I don't care what you're doing. I said, I just got one question for you. You seen a dead deer laying around here anywhere?
Yep, that's all we're after.
And
scared
they were like, no. Well, we saw something down by the railroad track.
Yeah.
And I said, well, guys, we're just tracking a deer. You all go about your day. And I said, just be careful.
They wasn't long getting out of there, was
No,
they?
they got on out
Well,
of there.
when you meet someone in the woods, it's an awkward moment.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
Yeah, but I knew exactly what they were doing as soon as we saw them. So that was a good part of the story. Every track's different, and that added flavor.
And
to
you
that
did find
track.
it.
Yeah, but so we backed up to where we popped out on that haul road. Got Jessie restarted. She went across the road. We were not just finding any blood, but I'm like, I think it went this way.
Yeah.
So got to trust her. So we go on down into a pretty grassy, high grass reclaim field. Found a few drops of blood. So, okay, a deer came this way. And Jessie was, at that point, she was nose down.
Yeah, Jessie, and then the Piper dog you had, she hit on it down there.
Boom.
Yeah.
Put her nose down. So both dogs going nose down. Took us around to this brushy pine tree.
Pine trees and all of them. It just separated the two fields.
Yeah.
There's 2 or 3 different fields down there, and in between they've planted pine and just brushed over and
Yeah. And Jessie's just going off on the lead, like, deer's right here.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, where's this deer at?
well, we tracked it through that.
Yeah, we
little
tracked it through
ravine.
it.
How far was it from? How far was this from where you originally shot it, or you saw it bed down?
Probably 350.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, so it's a good distance.
354.
Good
Yeah.
distance. Yeah.
I mean, it covered some country. So we tracked through this.
Yeah, went
pine,
to the next field. We
next
had
field,
blood.
and found blood again.
Oh man.
So we're thinking, okay, this deer
By
went on.
crossed
By
on
that
through
point,
the
your
field.
nerves are like.
Yeah, I thought they were not going to. I mean,
Yeah.
this deer's gone.
I mean, that happens to every
So
hunter.
Jessie starts giving me indications she wants to go back. And I'm like, did this deer double back? So I let her have her head. Well, we get into a place where I got to get down on my hands and knees to follow her. And she jumps a woodcock. And I'm like,
And
now,
for you guys that don't know what a woodcock is, it's a duck.
no. It's a small bird.
It's a
Oh,
snipe.
is it?
It's
Oh,
a-
really?
That's what you
snipe.
call a snipe.
Okay.
Yeah, a woodcock.
Okay, so we call
Okay.
them different. then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this little woodcock flushes up, and I'm thinking, did she just drag me in here to flush this woodcock?
Yeah, this is the third time she's
So
parted you off trail.
Yeah. So I crawl up to her, and I get up there to her, and I look up, and I'm staring at this buck. Oh man! And it's looking at me.
Yeah.
It is looking at me.
Yeah, me and Chrissy's in the field still looking because, I mean,
Yeah.
we're sure the deer just went ahead and went on
You're
across.
doing a body search by this
Yeah,
point.
we're just looking for any body, I
Yeah.
mean, blood, whatever. And he's
Right.
like, hey, I've got it. It's alive.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
alive.
I have
man.
nothing with me to finish it off.
You didn't even bring.
No, I didn't bring a
nothing.
bow. I just brought my backpack.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So I got to looking at it, and I could see its eyes were glassed over. And I'm
yeah,
like,
you could just tell.
this deer had went through this little, about 4 rows of pine trees,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, it's probably, maybe 30, 40 yards,
Yeah.
I mean, through from one side to the other.
How long was this now? Like by the time?
Oh,
you
we've
shot
been
it?
there from the time I shot it.
Yeah, I mean,
I shot it at like 4:45 the evening before, and this is, what, 10:30, something
Yeah,
like
wow.
that?
So yeah, he had some hours then.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we weren't at 24 hours yet. I mean,
Right.
but we were. I mean, it had gone on some time, but this deer doubled back, went back into the other field, and then doubled back again and crashed into that
Yeah.
bush and crashed into a rose bush and was laid up in that rose bush like it was bedded.
Yeah, had its
Yeah.
horns tangled up in there.
And it had its head up.
Yeah.
Looked like it was laying there just looking at you.
I had them. I said, "Come here and look and see what I'm looking at, and you'll see
Right.
how."
Yeah.
I was like, "Holy cow!" I was.
You could see its eyes fogged over. Just,
Yeah, I could just tell once I looked at it. But my first reaction was, "Hey, get in here! I'm 3 feet from it, and it's alive."
Without having the tracking dog, a lot of hunters would have just, not gave up essentially, but lost hope.
Yeah.
I mean, at
Yeah,
that
because
point.
listen, you had to stepped on it if you was looking for it. I mean, just walking.
Yeah.
It was that thick to where it got in there. I mean, you couldn't hardly beat a jackrabbit out of there as thick as it was.
It was bad. It was bad. It was so thick. The buzzards were circling,
Yeah.
Oh wow!
but they weren't like gathering on it.
Right? Yeah.
Okay, now to tell you how quick though the buzzards are, we pulled that out in the field.
Yeah.
Got some pictures, and you went and got your ATV.
Yep.
And in that time period, 12 buzzards started circling right there.
Wow. What time? What part of the year was this? Like,
Yeah, it was the 1st of November 3rd, I think, or 4th.
November 3rd or so.
Was
yeah,
when
so
I
it
shot
was
it.
just
Yeah,
still warm enough just to
Yeah,
it got cold tonight, but it got down in the high 20s, I think, the night before.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it warmed back up. It was probably, in the 50s or so.
Yeah,
that
it
day.
got towards 50 that day. But I mean, that's just an example of what the tracking dog can do.
I was amazed. I surely was.
Well,
Because I was like, there is no way that deer went that way. That deer went this. I'm sure it went this other way.
Yeah,
and then once we found blood, I'm like, oh, that dog's right. I'm wrong.
past experience, liver hit deer. I mean, they're really hard to judge. I mean,
yeah, and
a lot of things can happen with
the thing with the liver hit deer, and this is what we see, and you know, it's not. We're not. You're never getting after anybody. I'm not getting after Daniel, but
it happens.
it happens, and you want to go.
You want to go find it, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
you
you
want
rush
to
it.
go find it. I mean, I'm a hunter. I've been there.
Yeah.
I've jumped deer.
Get so excited.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, I had a deer this last year. You know, it was not a liver hit deer, but it was an angled shot, and I waited 7 hours and it was still alive.
yeah.
I mean, and it's just, you know, thinking that was enough time, and like automatically you think, oh, it's, you know, there's no way.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they're strong-willed animals.
Yeah. If I'd have walked off and left him, like I said, he'd only went 30 or 40 yards and bedded right up. He'd have
So-
been laying there if I'd have just left him.
Man,
So
Good morning.
that's a good lesson to other hunters, though. I mean, if you
Oh,
think,
yeah.
if you
Big
think you
time.
liver hit one, I mean, usually they just walk off.
time is the key.
Yeah, and if it's going to be a cold night, leave them.
Yeah.
Just leave them,
Yeah.
and more than likely you'll come back the next
Oh,
morning.
you won't
and-
sleep though.
Oh, no.
You won't
no,
sleep
I
that
didn't
night.
sleep none that night.
Yeah.
But you did everything right. I mean, you didn't. Once you jumped him, you backed out.
Yeah.
You didn't pound the track into
Chase him
oblivion.
down.
Yeah.
And that helped the dog too.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
You know, obviously.
Yeah,
that
if you
helps
go
the dog.
walk the track out,
Yeah.
I mean, it just make it
That
harder
dog's
on the
gonna be all
dog
over
to.
the place.
Yeah. Sometimes I mean, a good dog usually doesn't have problems, and
Right.
especially on a track that doesn't have a lot of blood, because usually the hunters aren't stepping in blood and taking it all
Yeah.
over. But
How was that for you? Because, like, you know, you're able to read the dog and what the deer was doing. I mean, I bet that was pretty consciously. That was probably really hard on you too.
it was
taking
It was our most challenging track of the year.
Yeah.
Most challenging
mean,
track, and that's one of the
obviously
reasons I had Daniel come over for this. I mean, this was our
it's
most
training.
challenging track of the year. Last year, I could not read that Jessie telling me when she was on a double back. I just couldn't read it.
Yeah.
So there was one time I pulled her off a recovery last year, and then another dog got it, and I went to the track to change dogs. I didn't realize what she was telling me.
Right. Right.
Okay. So this year I learned to read her on those double backs, and even then you still doubt your dog.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I mean, she went off track how many times in that period of time
Yeah.
tracking
Yes.
down your deer?
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
because she's a terrier. She's gonna hunt. She
Yeah,
ran
they're-
into
she's like-
turkeys.
Yeah.
She
Sight.
went-
I mean, it was sight.
yeah,
Chase
sight
is
hunt.
what that was.
She
Yeah.
sees those boys. She's gonna
Yep.
go to the boys.
Yeah.
Squirrel, exactly. But she's becoming a little better tuned at that, at not
Yeah.
getting off track. And I'm reading her faster. Okay, she ain't on this track. Let's
Right.
get her back. And
Now, how many double tracks do you think? How many double backs do I mean? Do you think you run into last year? Because usually you don't
I'd
see a deer
imagine a
do
lot.
that, do you?
Let me tell you,
I would imagine more than you would think.
Is it?
I know 3 for sure. In all 3 instances, yours was liver shot. The other 2 were gut shot.
Yeah.
Okay. One was in Fayette County. And a guy actually shot that deer at 762
Oh,
yards.
that was that great
wow.
big buck that
Yeah.
boy killed.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Old Vince D14, because he has one of them names he said, just call
Don't
me
forget.
D14. But his buck double back, Jesse was telling me, and I didn't read her at first, but he was also adamant that deer went that way. That deer went that way.
Yeah.
And after I looked the way he wanted me to look, I went back up to where she was giving me, and I started her again. She went right back where the deer had come from, and I said, "This deer doubled back." And he said, "That's impossible. We watched it, you know. It's not double back." And we went past the beds that he had originally found another bed.
Ah.
And he's like, I'm like, yeah, this deer doubled back another 100 yards, and we ran into the deer.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be probably surprising how many times they probably do.
I had a great training opportunity. The first track last year in Kentucky, we were over at, let me think, Moorhead, Kentucky. Early September,
Okay.
a guy called me. He was a city police officer for Moorhead. And he said, I got shot a big buck last night. It was a 160-inch buck.
Right.
He said, got shot it. He said it went 50 yards and laid down. And he said, I waited 3 hours until it got dark.
Right.
And he said, I got out of my tree stand, and I heard something walking behind me.
Ugh.
He said, I turned on my flashlight and turned around and looked, and
just that sync feeling.
that buck walked right by him on the trail. Just went by. And his trail cam got a picture of it. So he knew it cut back.
Oh, man.
It walked out, bedded, got up, and went right back where it came from. And I think that's what those gut shot deer and liver shot deer are trying
They're
to do.
trying to throw you off.
Throw you off or go back where they came from to that bedding area.
Right.
Yep.
So,
I mean, I've had a lot of deer do that.
Yeah.
Just even regular shots, you would think, oh, that deer, he's not going far. And they do it a lot.
yeah,
They're tough animals.
They're tough animals.
They're
and
tough
they're
animals.
smart. They smart.
we've had them, we've tracked them that were one lung hit that circled, go back to where they came from. Or they'll go and watch where they bed at. It's pretty cool. Those bucks bed where they can watch that back trail.
Yeah.
And they can smell everything too. So, I mean, they're a survivor. But we always like hearing from bear hunters and rabbit hunters, the coyote guys that chase when we go track for them.
Yeah.
Just to see what they think of the dogs because it's so new. I mean, we talk second year.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about that. We've always done it.
Yeah.
Statute of limitations is up now, so
Trial
we
and
can
error.
admit to it. We've always done it, but now
I mean, you can
people
do
can
it.
see it.
Yeah.
Right.
And
You can talk about it and show everybody
Right.
here's how it works.
Yeah. I mean, you learn most of the times with your errors. I mean, that's with hunters anywhere.
Do you think this is something we notice in Ohio as a hunter here in West Virginia, bow hunter? In Ohio, they've gotten to the culture now where most of those guys over there think about calling a tracker first before they even get out of tree stand.
Yeah.
Do you think that, or do you think we're just so ingrained mountain men over here that we're going to go find our own deer? I mean, seriously, I
don't know. Well, usually
I mean,
when
we're
they're
dog
shooting-
guys here. We are dog guys,
We're dog guys. I guess if you're not 100% sure, you didn't just see it go lay down and die right there, then there's nothing wrong with that. But I mean, me myself, I like to be able to just go track it down and say that I found it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's part of the hunt.
Yeah, that's part of the hunt right there. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's part of the hunt, and that's what everybody should strive to be able to track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's part of being an outdoorsman.
Yeah.
So many hunters nowadays aren't outdoorsmen, and maybe that's why you see that in Ohio.
Yeah.
You got the guys chasing the antlers over there.
Right.
Yeah, you got bucks out there that, I mean,
200 class-inch deer,
160-inch deer out there is just a normal for them, and here you don't find that hardly.
And so many of the guys we run into over there, I call them outdoor channel hunters. They watch outdoor channel, and they're going to want to kill a big buck, and they know nothing about the woods.
Right.
They can't. Some of them can't
show
even
up in
show you where they shot the deer.
Sick good
at.
gear and the Lewis Matthews bow. And,
Exactly.
and here we are, the good old boys with an old cheap bow, $200-$300 bow.
Yeah.
Bowie knife running around through the woods. So.
I mean, I'm trying to think.
You got any stories about some crazy bear hunts? I mean,
What's been your craziest one?
I mean, it don't have to be just bear because obviously you hunt everything else
Yeah.
too. I mean, you're just like a good old boy down here.
I'm trying to think, honestly. It'd take me a minute, honestly. It'll come to me. Let's keep on talking about it. So it'll come to me.
Okay.
'Cause I can't think of what my craziest one actually would be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, probably every time you go hunting for bear, you expect the unexpected.
Yeah,
I mean, you're dealing with a pissed off animal.
Yeah.
and
Something that it could eat you if
Yeah.
it wanted to.
Right.
Now, have you lost any dogs to bears?
No, I've been fortunate enough. I mean, I've got some tore up, but
Right.
no, I've never lost any. I was always just take them and get them sewed back up and let them heal up and go on.
And this is something in the dog world. I'm glad you said that. You take them, get them sewed back up. Have you had any problems with any vets, like giving you a hard time? Most of them have been good to you.
No, I'm lucky enough. One of the guys I hunt with, his wife is really, really good at sewing.
Okay.
So she might as well be a vet, and she can unless it's major.
Right.
We can just sew it up and be done with
those
it.
dogs love what they're doing naturally, so it's not like
They're born and bred for it. I mean, that's what they.
Yeah.
I mean, we have people that they'll see, especially our year-old male Yog Terrier. I mean, he's got a couple of scars now on his face from coon hunting, and
scars and memories. I mean, he's just happy to do it.
He's happy to do it. I mean, that's his. He can't think of anything better.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just like you said. That's what they love to do.
There's dangers in everything.
Right.
I mean,
And
Every dog was bred for a purpose.
a job.
For a job.
Yep.
Working dogs.
And some are more versatile than others.
Yeah.
Or willing to learn.
Right. What's the biggest bear you've been on?
Biggest one we've killed was last year. It was 362.
362.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, we've run a few others. I mean, I've seen them. We ended up, I was within 10 feet of it one day, and I was standing there with no gun. It was actual kill season, and I didn't want to kill one. We had another person there that was wanting to kill a bear that day, standing in the middle of the road, and I've heard the dogs coming off the hill. Though I'll see it walk up in the road here in a minute, and it was probably 400 plus.
Oh, wow.
Just stepped out about 20 feet in front of me and walked across the road, looked at me, and walked on with the dogs right there running around it. And I said, well, I think I'll have a gun in my hand next time when it comes back out in the road.
How many in a day do you normally get to chase?
Yeah, I mean, if you get on one a day, that's a good. But I mean, we can, because we'll all split up and take off different directions. Now we'll try to help if someone gets a track started, then you go and see if you can help finish the track out, get dogs on it. But I mean, there's been days we've run 2, 3, 4 different bears in a day.
Wow, that's a lot of miles on the legs.
I just need to take a second here and remind our people who sponsor this segment.
Absolutely.
And need to talk about Base Camp Coffee out of Cumberland, Maryland. If you're up in that area, you need to stop in at their shop, Base Camp Coffee in Cumberland.
We're on
Maryland.
Instagram and Facebook and
Instagram and Facebook, and we'll share the heck out of them.
Absolutely.
Great coffee. Hopefully, we're going to get a hold of some here for some giveaways.
Yeah.
And
I'd like a cup myself.
Our other sponsor, you can wake up with Base Camp and go to bed with Still Hollow Spirits out of Job, West Virginia. Great. In fact, holding a bottle right here of their cranberry spirits. That's
got to be some good stuff there.
West Virginia boys.
I can't wait to try it. That's cranberries grown here in West Virginia, and they source most of their ingredients from West Virginia.
Huh. That's good.
They're on Instagram and Facebook, everything else.
Yes, they do, and they gave us some great items for a giveaway. You'll be watching our Facebook pages and our social medias, and we'll be doing a giveaway here soon.
Yeah,
we have to break that open when we're done here.
We have to.
We have some stuff together in a box. We'll have to get that giveaway here soon.
But those are our two sponsors on this segment: Base Camp Coffee, Cumberland, Maryland; Still Hollow Spirits, Job, West Virginia. We're here with Daniel Hanifan. We tracked for Daniel this year here in Upshur County, West Virginia, first part of November, right into the rut. And we're talking a little bit of bear hunting with Daniel.
Yep.
We were talking about working dogs and if you'd ever had any trouble with any vets or anything. That's kind of shift a little bit. If there was anything you could change with any of the West Virginia laws concerning bear hunting with dogs, what would it be?
The weight limit.
Weight limit?
I think they have their weight limit entirely too low.
Too low?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, you take a cub bear that's a year old, it can, if it's had good nutrition, good food.
Right.
I mean, that bear's a year old. It can weigh what they want it to. It's got to be 50 pounds gutted, 75 pounds live weight. That's nothing.
Yeah, that's not a
I mean, that's the size of the dogs that we run for the most part.
Right. I know they put that in when they thought they were having a bear problem.
Yeah.
That's something they should be flexible on. Maybe in some areas they can keep it low. I know southern West Virginia.
Yeah, there's a bunch of bears down there. But see, like with last year, they opened up all those bear seasons, and this year there's no early season now, they're saying. They've took it out. The only thing that, where we hunt at least, is going to be a December season.
Right.
Yeah. That's what I'm north of you, and I mean, we have very few bears. I mean, there's still bears around here and there, but we have very, very few of them.
Right.
You know?
Now, they are increasing in numbers in the non-dog counties.
Oh, yeah.
Blowing up.
Yep.
Wow.
But, yeah, I kind of agree with you on that. I mean, scaling back the early seasons, maybe just raising that weight limit would have
that would help tremendously if they'd raise that weight limit back.
Right.
I mean, we don't, if we have a kid or somebody that wants to come out and is looking to kill a bear, we've tree 100, 120-pound bear, we'll let them kill it. But us, I mean, we're all grown men. We've all killed bears. We're not in it for the kill. Yeah. We're in it for the dogs to have a good time. Yeah.
Right.
It's a lot of people don't understand. That's just like with deer hunting.
Yeah.
You know.
Now, you run the Garmin system.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'd be lost without it. If they outlawed it, I'd have to quit today, I reckon. So I'd be lost.
Yeah, there's some twists and turns around here. I'm
Yeah.
sure you get lost pretty quick.
Yeah.
The old Johnson beep beep collars, I just don't think I could go back to using them.
Those were
That was the good old days.
And I can't hear anymore. So if you said, "Hey, you got to go listen for hounds in that hollow," I probably couldn't hear them. Those were the old days. Yeah.
I used to run them. Well, it was back before I was bear hunting. I just coon hunted.
Right.
But coon dog didn't go 10 miles out of the country when he was coon hunting.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You could at least hear him on the other side of the hollow.
Yeah.
We get asked all the time, the gear we use and stuff. As far as calibers used, different types of weapons used, what do you see bear hunters using nowadays? I know a lot of the guys when I was growing up, they said, get your 30-30. That's the best bear gun you can have.
I was just going to ask that question.
It's all
too.
shot placement. I've seen them shot with 30-30. Yeah. I mean, myself, I have a 450 Bushmaster.
Right.
I love the gun. Don't get me wrong. You don't have to have something that big to kill one, though.
Right.
Yeah.
30. I mean, I've seen people use 30-06, and I mean just kill them stone cold dead when they pull the trigger.
Right.
It's like I said, it's all just in where you hit them at.
Right.
And you're really not taking a forced shot either. I mean, you're
No.
obviously within.
You're 40 yards, 50 yards most, unless, he's in the tree most of the time or on the ground close. You're not taking a pop shot at 200 yards at him running through there.
It's not like you got to make a long distance shot.
I've even killed one. I've got a Kentucky style homemade muzzleloader Eugene Miller had made me.
Oh, yeah.
50 cal. I've shot one with that.
Yeah.
You better make that shot count if you're using an old muzzleloader.
Yeah, yeah. That was a good. Right there's a good story to tell you. We was actually hunting national forest, and we'd found the snow was on. We found that track in the snow. Put a couple dogs on the bear.
Yeah.
And the dogs run it over across. We had crossed the track on the way in and missed it. Dogs come out in the road right there, lost it, run down towards your hardtop. We went and caught the dogs. Went back up, seen where they come out, found the bear track again. Got them put back on it. The track was probably 12, 14 hours old because we'd been in the day before and it hadn't been through there.
Right.
And put 3 dogs back on it. Dogs run 1,000 yards probably. And noticed on the Garmin, one of mine, she went in, made a couple little circles, shot out about 50 yards, set in, treed. So we went up, parked at one of the gates, took some pups in with us, walked, I don't know, probably 3/4 of a mile into where the dogs was at.
Right.
Shot off one of the little points, and you could see the bear sitting there in one of the pine trees. Well, as soon as she seen us coming in there, she come out.
Right.
So we just had some young pups we turned in there with them other dogs. They run right down through the holler, pulled up the other side of the creek, treed. Well, I was packing that gun in there. Everybody knows how long one of them old Kentucky-style muzzleloaders is.
They're about 4 foot long or longer.
Yeah. Luckily, I had it in a gun case. Yeah, there's some of them on the wall right there.
Yeah.
Well, trying to crawl through that laurel and all those down trees, I was really wishing I'd have left that thing back in the truck. I was chucking it down through there in that gun case, cussing that thing. Finally got down there, got up the creek. Bear was sitting there getting ready to come out. Got to put my cap on there, pulled back, click. Powder had got wet.
Oh, man.
And I'm sitting there and I'm shoving another cap on. I've done this 3 or 4 times.
Yep.
Finally, the bear starts coming out. And luckily, I've got the powder dried out just enough. And I mean, I shot her. She come out.
She was pissed.
Oh, yeah. She come out. Dogs jumped on her. And luckily, I was a good enough shot. She just piled up, fought for just 30 seconds, piled up in the treetops right there dead.
Now, were you using round ball or were you?
Yep, round ball.
Good. I like hearing
What kind
that.
of grain? How much grain you use in yours?
I'm using 80, but I'm using triple F powder.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Was you using 50 or 45?
50.
50?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people don't realize how effective those round balls are.
Them things are deadly.
They're deadly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I use for the heritage hunt for deer. I mean, they're great guns.
Yeah.
The heritage hunt is actually a very fun sport.
Yeah, that's a good one to get in.
Yeah, I've got inline muzzleloaders, but I honestly, I have no use for them. I just don't use them. I like if I'm on muzzleloader hunting, I like to take my old muzzleloader.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just the feeling of the old gun.
Yeah.
You know, ain't nothing like a full wood stock.
Yep.
Right. Future bear hunting in West Virginia. I mean, as dog people, we got to watch every day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You have to watch because I mean, if we don't watch, there won't be any.
Right.
I mean, PETA and all these people that hate.
Yeah, I mean,
hate the people that use dogs for that.
Yeah.
People that don't know, you just said something there a minute ago. You walk 3/4 of a mile in to do that bear.
Yeah.
Okay, people think, oh, you're hunting with a bunch of dogs. It's easy.
Nah.
No.
These people have not a clue.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Listen, all summer long, we trained all summer long. I treated 2 bears all summer. Them bears flat. I don't know why we couldn't catch them. They flat just outrun the dogs.
Yeah.
They just have
it is not an easy sport whatsoever.
Yeah. And I mean, it does help with the Garmin systems. We run them. It does help.
Yes.
But it's not a cure-all.
No,
I mean,
it's not a definite you're going to go out there every day and tree one.
Because that's the other thing we hear. You know, people want to, hey, you should get rid of the tracking systems. If you don't have tracking systems, it'd be old school bear hunting. Okay, well, yeah, I understand. But I know one thing. I wouldn't run my terriers without a collar on them.
All right, people that say that don't realize, you get a dog that's in the county road, and you can have that Garmin and look at, that dog's out in the road. I need to go.
Yeah, get him out of the road.
If you have a beep beep collar.
Yep. They come right back to you if they're trained well.
People have been doing this for years. I mean, since early 1600s or like earlier than that. I mean, since history can say.
Yeah, and that's the other. Exactly. It's a history of the area. Everybody, you see all the shows about the early settlers, and very seldom they talk about their dogs, but all these guys brought dogs with them.
Right. Yeah. They're just like family.
That's why we have such a dog culture here.
Yep. They're just like family. I mean.
Anything else you want to add, Daniel?
Nothing I can think of, really.
Nothing you can think of? Well, I guess what we got out of that is you call again, wouldn't you? You're right, I would.
That's what we're looking for there.
Buy another ticket to watch a show.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
What's, all right, your opinion on the deer, the buck restrictions they've got?
You brought me on that. This is what I say.
I feel like they should do an antler restriction.
I think they should do something. Because, you're allowed three antlered bucks.
Yeah, either do a restriction on how many you could kill or have an antler restriction.
I think both.
You got 3 antlered bucks given to you on a license.
Yeah.
Right.
With no extra tags,
No extra
tags.
Now,
I'm not hating on the people like, obviously if you're a little kid, you're hunting game for meat. Yeah. I respect that. You shoot a 6.8 point, I respect the hell out of it. You know what I mean?
Correct me if I'm wrong. When you're 16 years old, you have to get your hunting license, correct? You have to purchase a West Virginia state hunting license.
Yep.
So I always thought 15 and below, you've got to get people interested.
Oh, absolutely.
Kids interested
100%.
out there.
Yeah, we got to get the young
give them the
people
rein to kill what they want. But when you buy your license, then you're classified as the adult class.
I'd even say even veterans. I mean,
What is it? 65 and older, then you don't have to buy your license. Right. Nothing wrong with that.
I'd like to see them do some sort of restriction. I mean,
I've been pushing. Chrissy and JC and I go to all the meetings, and we've been pushing for a 2 buck limit. I mean,
a 3 or 4 on one side, something. We do 8 point on our lease.
Yeah.
That's what we do. It's got to be an 8 point.
That's how you manage deer and even small farms.
And we do on our lease. We do 18 inches wide.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a biologist, and I just think that width restriction saves that age class better than a point restriction. But I mean, we can talk about that all day.
Yeah. You can get into it pretty easily.
I mean, we use the 18 inch. If they get to 18 inches, they're probably
they're a mature deer then.
Mature deer. West Virginia uses 14 inches on some of their management.
Down Burnsville, down there.
Management area, not too far away from us, and it works. I've hunted that area before.
Oh, I've seen pictures of some bucks down. I'm telling you, just blow your mind what's in that place.
So, I know you guys are south from me. I'm in northern Panhandle. I'm right between Ohio and Pennsylvania, and so the amount of deer I see up there compared to down here is totally different. I mean,
so in
you
Ohio,
see more or less.
More deer, more bucks, but not as big. Down here, you see fewer, but big. When you do. Huh. For the bucks. Now, doe, I drive
out
here.
the road here, you could probably count 30 does and fawns out in the field.
I'm not saying does. You see a crap ton of does.
Yeah, just the bucks in general.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Ohio, has the 1 buck limit. Pennsylvania has a 1 buck limit and antler restrictions.
Yeah.
And look what the deer they grow.
Yeah, and both states love those.
200 class inch.
And this is something. And this is something we see, and and we could go on all night, but I'll throw this in there. When Chrissy and I crossed the river into Ohio, the counties we're tracking look like the counties we just left in West Virginia.
Yep.
Right.
Everybody says, "Oh, it's all that corn and soybeans in Ohio."
No, I don't.
No, there's none.
The genetics are here if they're allowed to get the age to show.
Well, I mean, and really, in my area, I don't know as much as y'all's area here, but like a lot of people come from Ohio or Pennsylvania to West Virginia to
game hunt,
to game hunt because they could kill more does, more bucks. So I mean, really, we don't have that behind us. So like Ohio and Pennsylvania, like obviously there's big bucks there. I don't want to go there and shoot the first thing I see. You know, I want to actually hunt and invest my time.
If I'm buying my Owl State tag, I'm not going to go up there and just shoot a 120-inch 8-point just because.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
We're here with Daniel Hanifan. He's a Upshur County native and friend of mine, and we did some tracking for him. You've been listening to Longspur's Beyond the Holler. I need to thank Daniel for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
And, you know, this segment was brought to you by Base Camp Coffee out of Cumberland, Maryland. Look them up on Instagram, Facebook. Great people over there running that shop. And Still Hollow Spirits in Job, West Virginia. There again, look them up on Facebook, Instagram, websites, just Still Hollow Spirits. Search them up, and you'll find them. We appreciate Daniel coming on.
Yep.
We're going to have to go take a break here. And actually, wow, we've hit the end of the show.
Yeah, I think we've hit the end of it here.
Yeah, we've hit the end of the show, so I can't say take a break. I'm going to have to say see you next time here on Longspur's Beyond the Holler. David, thank you.
Yep.
We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Everybody out there, please tune in next time.
Yes, sir.
Don't go by the moss log. Jill flirted in a soup fog. You turn around in Laurel, you'll never come home. I could high step the rock bowl and drop in the King Cole. That's a mountaineer's hunt, son. Don't go it alone. Hemlock Rock is where I'll stay today. Whiskey's got me feeling frail. If I get cold from sitting, I'll take another swig and head down Cadillac Trail. There's always a big rack on top beach flat. I've tracked them in circles till the nights came on. There's always a dandy at the bottom of Gandy. The ghosts of old Red Creek, you swear they're all gone. Hemlock Rock is where I'll stay today. Whiskey's got me feeling frail. If I get cold from sitting, I'll take another swig and head down Cadillac Trail. Where I'll stay today. Whiskey's got me feeling frail.